Hey,
I hardly know what to believe in.
what's new?
Since the collapse of the barrier, open trade with the big farmer has abruptly stopped. Who knows what he's plotting? There's something fishy going on.
That doesn't surprise me.
What's interesting in this town?
You can buy almost anything you can imagine here, either from the merchants in the marketplace or in the lower part of the city. But almost everything that you can buy also costs a bit. If you don't have enough money, then maybe Lamar the moneylender can help you. His house is at the beginning of the harbor district, as you come from the lower part of town.
That's really not my
Who are the important figures around here?
Up until recently, it was the governor and the judge. But then the paladins came and took over the city. Lord Hagen is their leader. He's the new governor, more or less. Lord Andre is his right-hand man. He leads the city guard and acts as a judge as well. Everyone in the city who's guilty of something has to answer to him.
There's nothing you can do about it.
How can I become a citizen of this town?
Go look for a decent job. Everyone who has a set occupation in Khorinis counts as a citizen of the town.
Really didn't deserve that.
It's not what I heard.
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now in the lower part of town. Where do you want to go?
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Where's the harbor district?
Walking down the harbor road from the smithy will take you to the harbor.
My problem.
I've heard a thing.
Where's the barracks?
Walking through the underpass from the smithy will take you to the temple square. Coming from the temple, if you pass the pub on the left, you'll come out at the Gallows Square. The huge building is the barracks. Just walk up the stairs.
But he knew that all along.
How do I get to the Gallows Square?
Walking through the underpass from the smithy will take you to the temple square. Coming from the temple, if you...
It's a bad business.
Where's the marketplace?
Walking through the underpass from the smithy will take you to the temple square. When you're in front of the temple, go up to the left and along the city wall. This will take you to the marketplace.
That's all just gossip.
I'm looking for the temple.
Walking through the underpass from the smithy will take you to the temple square.
That's all just gossip.
It can't go on.
How do I get to the upper quarter?
A flight of stairs leads up from the southern city gate to the inner city gate. That's where the upper part of town begins.
Hardly know what to believe anymore.
You listen to the
Thanks,
wrong
that's
people.
all I wanted to know.
That was quite obvious.
It's really not my problem.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
I'd have gone about it differently.
I've got my own opinion about that.
I was actually on my way to see the paladins.
It was obvious.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
That's really not my problem.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers.
It's all
His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
Wouldn't be so sure.
It's not what I heard.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? No. I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
That's all just gossip.
Where can I find Mateo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
Get that from me.
What do you have to offer?
What I heard.
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
Tell me more about the Peasants' Revolt.
Whatever
It's
changed.
quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases, but now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries. The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
This forever.
Will it ever change?
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony, and their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
I can't help it.
Show me your wares.
I get so moved up.
It's not what I heard.
You didn't get that from me.
He never would have thought of that himself.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
I'm no better off myself.
That's the first I've heard of it.
What's new?
Ever since they took the barrier away, this town has been overrun with bandits. The paladins don't do a thing. Why the hell are they even here then?
Hey! What's new?
Everyone has been worried lately. It's not enough that the paladins have made themselves at home here. Now people are constantly disappearing in the strangest fashion. It's about time the militia finally did something about it.
Where'd you pick that up then?
Halt! No one may enter the storeroom!
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the king's army.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
I'd have gone about it differently.
Don't say you didn't know that.
What's new?
I hope the militia will finally find out why the population of Khorinis keeps shrinking.
Nobody ever
You have
asked
to
for
fear
my
for your
opinion.
life when you hear that so many have already gone
There's
missing.
nothing you can do about it.
What interesting things are there to see here?
There are all kinds of goods on display in the marketplace.
That doesn't surprise me.
Who are the important figures in this town?
The paladins hold the upper quarter.
That's been known a long time.
I want to become a citizen of this town.
Will you help us defend the city against the orcs? If you're a citizen of Khorinis, you can join the militia. You should talk to one of the city guards.
There's nothing you can do about it.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now in the lower part of town. Where do you want to go?
Don't say you didn't know that.
He never would have thought of that himself.
I'm looking for the temple.
Nobody ever asked
Walking
for my
through the
opinion.
underpass from the smithy will take you to the temple square.
I've heard of things.
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
It's not what I heard.
You didn't get that from me.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
They listen to me.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway. But you won't be officially admitted.
I can't believe that.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple.
never knew that.
I'm not usually a violent person,
Did you pick
but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
I already thought as much.
No, he insisted he knew better.
I knew that would be a problem. I've heard a thing or two.
What can I do for you?
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather, still unused. Interested?
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
I don't see why I should even try.
You're probably right. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
Show me your wares. I know nothing about picking locks.
I've got my own opinion about that.
Is it really true?
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Bosper. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Khorinis?
I need to get into the upper quarter.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
I've heard that someone stole from you.
Who told you that? Probably Bartok, huh? Didn't he have anything better to tell you? Oh, well. Let me tell you, if I get hold of this bastard, he can say his prayers. I left the shop for only a moment. When I came back, I could only just see him leave, with my bow on his shoulder. I called the guards right away, but the lowlife ran towards the harbor, and they lost him there. I lit a bonfire under their asses then, and they searched the entire harbor district, but they didn't find a thing. Those bumbling lackeys. I bet my bow is still in town somewhere. I informed the guards on both city gates, and they haven't seen anyone leave with my bow. When I get my hands on that bastard.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Khorinis Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
What if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Harrod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay it. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
Show me your wares. I want to start as your apprentice.
Before I take you on, I need to know, of course, whether you're any good at all.
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, 6 wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
Teach me how to skin animals.
Come back once you have more experience.
Will I get your approval to sign up with a different master?
All right, you shall have my approval, but on one condition. Work for me, at least for a short time. That way, you can find out for yourself whether you like my craft or not. And who knows? Maybe you'll end up liking it, and you'll stay with me. If you're good enough to sign on with me, you're also good enough for all others here.
Hey! What's new?
I hope the militia will finally find out why the population of Khorinis keeps shrinking. You have to fear for your life when you hear that so many have already gone missing.
I'm no better off myself.
Hey!
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Khorinis, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
What do you know about the Paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they've withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the Peasants Rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Khorinis, especially lately.
Can you sell me some lockpicks?
Well, all right, but they won't be of any use to you as long as you don't know how they work.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work. But I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Khorinis without a decent job.
Is that so? Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
How about your approval, Master?
Has Vatras given you his blessing?
Not yet.
Then I don't know why you're asking me again. You know my terms.
What's new?
Citizens are disappearing from here one by one. Up to now, we haven't been able to find out what's happening to them. Could the orcs be behind it?
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different master?
The other masters may well approve, but I will only give you my approval when you first prove that you're good for something.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice, provided the other masters agree.
Let's talk again about that orc thing.
What?
An orc is a damn tough opponent.
Looking at you, you might be right. You don't have much meat on your bones. But that can change. Nevertheless, you have to prove to me that you have the courage to fight.
So, couldn't it be something slightly smaller?
Hakon, the weapons dealer in the marketplace, told me that he was attacked by bandits a few days ago. The bastards are said to be roaming around somewhere outside the East Gate. Those cowardly rogues shouldn't be terribly bright. Hunt the bastards down, every single one of them. Then I'll know that we can use you here in the city.
When can I start as your apprentice?
Not before you've proven to me that you're good for something.
Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
Hey, you!
New in the city, huh? I'm Brian. I'm Master Harrod's apprentice.
What's it like to be the smith's apprentice?
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Maybe.
Why not? I'm almost done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the city. But not because of Harrod. He is a good master. I've learned a lot from him.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harrod. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice.
Who are the other masters?
Well, there's Thorben the carpenter, Bosper the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Matteo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street. And Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
I've got my own opinion about that.
Tell me more about Master Harrod.
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
What can I get from you?
I can sell you some steel billets.
Being here. Hey, you're not quite as stupid as you look. Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
I agree with you completely.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Greta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorben.
How's it going?
Same as always, but I don't want to complain.